the Institute for, oh sorry, there's the Institute that I can't, the Institute for Public Policy Research. And again. Okay. Hello and welcome to the first of what we hope will be many exclusive Ballotbox interviews. Our interviewee today is Rushanara Ali, the MP for Bethnal Green and Bow. She was born in Bangladesh and grew up in Tower Hamlets before attending St John's College in Oxford to study PPE. Since then, she's held a number of positions at the Home Office, the Foreign Office, the Institute for Public Policy Research, and for former MP Una King. In 2009, she was voted as one of the most powerful Muslim women in Britain, and in 2010, she was elected to Parliament. While she was there, she served as the Shadow Minister for Education, the Shadow Minister for International Development, and in 2016 was made the Trade Envoy to Bangladesh by David Cameron. She's also served on various select committees, including the Energy and Climate Change, Treasury, and Communities and Local Government. In 2017, she increased her majority to over 35,000. I can't wait to meet her. Rushanara, thank you so much for agreeing to meet with us. I wanted to start by giving you a date, the 8th of June 2010. That was the date that you did your maiden speech in Parliament. You were one of the first female Muslim MPs. What was it like as a young woman in Parliament?
It felt like the political equivalent of climbing Everest. When I got to the other end of it, I was just completely relieved.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But it was amazing because it took so long. And there was so much excitement and enthusiasm in my constituency. Although we lost the national election, I was insulated from that a bit because I won and it was a Labour gain. So it was a really exciting time, but it was very, very intimidating to do my maiden speech.
Let me show you another date then, the 17th of June 2015. Very different time, Labour had lost. Again, that was the day that you withdrew from the race to be deputy leader. Chuka Umunna had already dropped out of the leadership race, which meant that when you dropped out, there were no black or minority ethnic candidates left in either contest. I was just wondering whether that troubled you at the time.
Yes, there was a part of me that did feel there would be a lot of there would be a lot of ethnic minority people who were very excited that both Chuka and I stood and we both stepped down. I mean, it's for different reasons. So I did worry about that. I did worry about what signal that sent about our party, but it wasn't for me at that point, and it wasn't for me to tell my colleagues what they should do. I just felt I should make a decision that I felt proud to make in the interests of the membership of our party, that they shouldn't be locked out of choice among for the candidate that they wanted to vote for.
I suppose the question that I'm really asking, and you can look at further evidence now, Sadiq Khan and Diane Abbott are really the only senior black or minority ethnic people in politics in the UK at the moment. We might have a Labour leader in Scotland who is a Muslim shortly, we don't know. But do you think Westminster in general has a problem with race?
Well, I think Westminster has a problem with quite a few things. Gender, race, sexual orientation, many other problems, because historically, of course, it's been a very male-dominated institution. I think that there has been gradual progress. I'd like to see more progress. It is still the case that if you are black or Asian, ethnic minority, there are some positions when you decide to stand, people are more surprised, more resistant. Traditional institutions have a long way to go in not doing a double take when a black or Asian person dares to stand. And I certainly had people doing a double take when I dared to stand to be the deputy leader of the Labour Party.
I know you worked for Michael Young. One of the things that he campaigned a lot for was the abolition of grammar schools and the 11+. I know the Tories more than whispered about having grammar schools again. Do you think that's problematic, or?
Yeah, it is problematic, and it has been dropped because they don't have a majority in Parliament beyond that. I mean, they have the coalition, but they don't have the support to put it through, and I'm glad that's been the case because I think that's a 20th century solution, response to a set of 21st century challenges that don't speak to the needs of our economy and the needs of our population.
You've been consistently involved in what is now Futureversity, a part of which is Job Ready, which focuses on 16 to 25 employment. Something which struck me about some of the case studies in Job Ready is that there are a few people who didn't go to university, perhaps people who left school at 16. I'm wondering whether you think, is university wrongly emphasised as the best option for young people? There's no job guarantee with certain universities. There are better courses, worse courses. We talk about fees. Do you think there's a case that more so universities are conning students who perhaps shouldn't be going to university out of money?
The reality is that universities are treated as being first tier and everything else is second tier. So we have to change societal attitudes and employers' attitudes. And that's why I really welcome the fact that some employers have created and invested in high quality vocational training programs, like the Jaguar Land Rover apprenticeship program, for instance, where it's more popular than some getting into Russell Group universities. That's the kind of calibre and standard you need to be able to, in technical vocational education, to be able to make sure that people can actually pursue an alternative route to university. So technical vocational education is really important, but it needs to be followed with prestige and also jobs that signal particularly to middle class parents actually. I think it was right that the Labour government focused on expanding higher education and set a target of 50%, which we reached. I think before that there was this attitude that if you came from a poorer background then you didn't have to go to university. I think we should make sure that the choice is there so that people can pursue these different routes. You're absolutely right that university degrees need to be good value for money for students, and I'm very concerned about the increases in fees. We capped it at 3,000. The Conservative government took the cap off, and debt is at average debt is £40,000 by the time students leave university, and that is not on. So all these pressures mean that the younger generation are much worse off than their parents' generation. So we need to reverse that.
I'd like to ask you about the Rohingya Muslims. I know it's something you've weighed in on a couple of times already. What I wanted to ask is specifically about Aung San Suu Kyi. I know a lot of attacks and international anger has been directed at her. Some people have even called for her Nobel Prize to be rescinded. I get the sense from what you've said that you've gone less far than that and you've reiterated the guilt of the military. I would want to know whether you think that because of her celebrity, international anger has been somewhat misdirected, or whether she should have her share of the blame.
I think it's understandable and right that the international community is looking to her for leadership, because she is such a she has been such an important figure and such a powerful symbol of hope and symbol of humanity. And of course the sacrifices she's made in order to get her country into a better footing towards democracy is completely admirable. So when the international community has somebody like that that they put on a pedestal, and I think we all looked to her with great admiration. I certainly did, growing up watching her struggle and the fight for democracy, and I know many people did. So it is doubly disappointing when she didn't condemn the attacks, and it's happened a number of times. But I also think that the pressure needs to be applied to the Burmese military, as I've said, as well as her, because they are calling the shots and they are responsible for the killings and the ethnic cleansing.
Maya Angelou or Toni Morrison?
Can you go for both?
Yeah, go on. Victoria or The Crown?
Crown.
Okay. Keir Hardie or Clement Attlee?
Ah, that's difficult. That's both as well, but I think I'll go for Clement Attlee if you push
Clem's
me.
taking it, okay. Houses of Parliament or the Sangsad?
Houses of Parliament.
Emmeline Pankhurst or Rosa Parks?
Oh, you give me impossible choices because I admire them both. So if I'm allowed to go for both, I'll go for both.
Okay, there's a lot of boths.
I know.
Charles I or Louis XVI? It's a
Neither.
bit more sombre, that one.
Neither.
A dinner date with Thatcher or Trump?
Thatcher.
Mary Wollstonecraft or Mary Shelley?
Mary Shelley.
Good choice, that's actually a correct answer to that one.
Is there a correct one?
No, I'm kidding. First elected or 35,000 majority?
That's a trick question. That's both, but first elected is obviously really important because it was such a pinnacle.
Okay, yeah, good answer. Macron or Merkel?
Merkel, because I'm completely intrigued by this female leader, albeit our politics is different.
Yeah. House of Cards or the West Wing?
West Wing.